Just get in there. Make sure all your couplings are flush so they don't pop out. Now you have your soap injector that goes into a pail, and now you got soap. So it's nice to be able to have chemical off your 200-foot reel and your 50-foot hose reel in the back. And
the soft wash system to hook into the system?
It'll be a separate unit with its own reel. On yours, it'll be a separate system, its own reel, its own tank, and everything. So that'll be something that you don't need to have your trailer with you at the time. All right. Here's the more slightly complicated stuff. As we just showed you a minute ago, we did have an injector here. So if you want a soap injector here, you can get soap. The soap has to come out at low pressure. So you have to have a low pressure tip to drop the pressure enough for the injector over there to inject soap. So it's called a downstream injector or low pressure injector. Right now I'm going to reconnect the line to this hose reel here for the hopper. Back to the...
Right now that hose...
the injector's on there is fine.
But the wand's not set up.
Right, so what we do, good point. You get water squirting out basically every orifice. So you got water coming out this reel, that reel, and both heads. So if all the valves are open, you're going to have it's going to just spray everywhere. So you have to have a gun on here. You can take the wand off with disconnect. You can leave just wand holding, or you can get a shut-off valve, a ball valve, and go on the end here. But you do have to make sure all of your pressure is trapped.
Not only that, no, but if you hook this up with chemical, you have to put it...
You have to put a low pressure tip on the end of the gun. Yep.
Okay.
Now here we got our manifold block. So basically, one of the high pressure reels, remember the two hoses coming off the hot water pressure washer there? One's going to this reel so you can do your commercial power wash, and that's dedicated to that reel. The other one is coming up through here. So you have a high pressure reel. Even to prevent the line from breaking, we actually put a swivel on here, which is the high pressure swivel, about a $40 part. Once again, just to make sure we extend the life of your hose and everything else on here. Stainless steel manifold block, all high pressure. Now, this is my, what we call the, now all the valves are shut off when they're in the perpendicular area. So basically these are all off. We got a gun on that. Right now if I try to crank the engine over, it's going to deadhead. It's going to, you're going to think it's a dead battery and you go, listen Dan, click, 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 click. Damn it, happened again. I go, dude, grab your gun, pull the trigger. Oh crap, are you kidding me?
You can hear it over the phone.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, I had that conversation 100 times at least. So make sure you release the pressure. It's not normally if you see a starter issue. What we made it is to make it easy for you to do this, is we put the bypass valve on. So what you can do with a bypass is open your valve straight up and down. This bypass is going to take all that high pressure hot water in through here and just dump this right back to the top of the supply tank. Okay? As you can tell, there's no restriction. We're even using a low pressure hose. So basically, in this position, it's also safe because if you're in a parking lot at McDonald's or somewhere, and some kid goes, look, I found a gun, and tried to shoot his brother or sister with it, there's not going to be any pressure because they already released all the pressure. So it's a safe way to start the machine. It's a way you turn it off to cool off the machine. And it's a nice way to leave it so you have a safety.
So in theory, right? So if you got the machine running and the burner going and everything, in theory,
you're cooking. You're putting water back in the tank and cooking it. Now here's the situation with that. And it's happened, and it happened in your neck of the woods on top of it. This valve is only to be used when you start the engine and when you shut the burner off to cool it off. This should never be open longer than 1 minute, give or take. Minute, minute and a half tops. The normal time is 1 minute it's opened, okay? So with everything off, I could go over there and start the machine right now. I turn the burner on and the thermostat. I turn my vacuum and transfer pump on the recycler. I come back here. Now that's still within less than a minute. Once it's running, and in bypass, you're also getting any air out of the system and anything else that might be there. Once this is running for a minute, because it'll be too hard to hear, so it's good to know now, I will go ahead and when we're ready to start, a minute later, I will shut this off with all the valves off. The pressure gauge will go from 0 to 4,000-ish because it's in the that's your bypass pressure. So it'll spike up to 35, 38, 4, whatever. So normally it's around 4,000. Now you know you got pressure ready to go with your valves. Now your hose reel had the gun on it and your reel. So once it's running, you actually can leave this valve open. We put this valve on as a safety device. If you shut it off and you walk into Walmart, remember we just have pressure in the gun? Somebody goes, hey look, you know what I mean? You still could get that first burst of pressure. So by having the valve off, you're not gonna have pressure coming out the gun. It's safer if you're doing sidewalk and driveway and somebody grabs the gun to play. Trust me, when I was a kid, I was a terror. I would probably grab your gun and shoot my sister or somebody, not viciously. I didn't, never negative, but I was a crazy man back in the day. So bottom line, right now we can leave that open. Because we're back in the start mode, idea we haven't started, we want to leave this valve open too. So these two can be open. This is going nowhere because of the guns on here. Okay, we got the trigger. So at this stage, we are ready at this stage to start the machine. So before I start the engine, I'll do one other thing. Typically, when the trash carts are loaded and ready to go in over the heads, we'll start by doing the left side cart. When we're done cleaning that cart, we don't run two at the same time ever, okay? When we're done cleaning that cart, which is about 30 seconds, we'll shut this valve off and we'll open the other valve. Now if you get to a house that has 3 carts, recycle, yard waste, and food waste, you're gonna have an odd cart up there. So what you can do is just make sure you know left side is the left cart, right side. So you don't have to open the other one if there's not a cart. So you have left controls for the left cleaning head, the right cleaning head. This will be the gun and wand to clean the outside of the cart, and then your final bypass to start and stop the machine only, okay? Now I had a guy that actually left this open going house to house. And he split the tank, which I've never in my history of my life had a tank ever rupture at the bottom. And he goes to show FaceTime, and I go, dude. And he also blew a couple O-rings out of the heads, which we'd never had O-ring pop. They're 240-degree rated heads, okay? So what happened is, I go, okay, well, let's see what's going on. And he had a lot of carts to clean. He was desperate. So he goes, look, Dan, look, you can see the steam coming out of the tank there where the crack is. I go, why is there steam coming out of the supply tank? That's not, I go, do me a favor, because the machine was running. I go, back off. Why the heck is your bypass open? Oh, I go, we have the cool bypass. Remember, we already have the bypass running back to tank that's not heated water. We're not gonna hurt the pump or the unit because we have the other bypass built in that's automatic, okay? So this is just start and stop. You got to remember that, because I don't want to have O-rings. I mean, the only time we ever had any issues is because of neglect like that. And it was 110 degrees down there with him bypassing 200-degree hot water back to, which superheat the water even more. So yeah, he was lucky he didn't do more damage.
Yeah.
But just in general, so I'm gonna pan back here so we can get a good view of the whole thing. All right, I'm gonna actually stop the video and restart it so I have them in section 3 or 4, whatever we're into.